Hello and welcome to Chatting Over the News. I'm Dylan, and today I'm only joined by Mark. It's just the two of us today. We're going to be talking about
Hello.
some stuff. How's it going, Mark?
It's going okay, mate. It's going good. I want to talk about anime.
Oh, okay. We're switching up the show. It's an anime show now. To be fair, out of the rest of the group, we're the two weebs, so makes sense.
Weaving it up good and proper. So, I've been watching a lot of Dragon Ball.
Yeah.
I've been thinking a lot about going and getting some Dragon Ball manga.
Okay.
Have I gone too far? Do I need help?
It's quite far. If you start getting into the manga, that's a bit much. But you do you, man. You don't need to go to anybody else's standards.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe it could be really cool, but also maybe I'm not sure I'm ready to take that step.
It's quite a commitment. I think there's quite a lot of Dragon Ball manga.
There's like 30 volumes.
It's quite a bit.
Oh no, 40. There's like 16 of Dragon Ball and like 24 of Dragon Ball Z.
You could just start with just Dragon Ball.
Yeah, well, that seems safer. It all came out of I've almost finished Dragon Ball Z, and I want to watch Super. But and then I think I want to get into Super. But the thing is, they've finished the Super anime, but they're still making the manga.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so in my head, I'm just like, and it goes further and keeps telling more stories. So I'm just like, well, I want to get all the Dragon Ball.
Yeah, you need all the story.
So I'm just gonna have to read the manga. Otherwise, there's no real way to know.
You have to, man.
Yeah, it doesn't help either that obviously anime. There's this week has been a crazy week for anime because there's been Netflix has just been. So there are three Netflix announcements about anime, hasn't there, this week? That's made it. Anime has become a suddenly much more significant part of my life because there's the Neon Genesis
Yeah.
announcement. There's the Blade Runner anime announcement.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
And then there's also the Cowboy Bebop live action Netflix show announcement that isn't quite anime but also is anime.
It's anime adjacent, at least.
That's-
Directly linked to.
I got anime on the brain, Dylan. I can't stop
Takes up a
thinking
lot of
about anime.
headspace. There's not really anything else that can happen when anime's happening.
There's just so much of it as well.
I mean, we both finished Castlevania Series 2, didn't you? No, you've not watched it yet.
I haven't watched Series 2 of Castlevania.
Ah,
Is
see,
it good?
that's some good Netflix anime.
Yeah,
think
it's
it
only like
counts
8
as
episodes
anime,
as well, isn't it? Is it made in the East?
I'm not really sure. But it's like anime style.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like,
Western anime. Like that French anime we were talking about.
oh yeah, Whack Fu.
Wakfu. And the Baguette Connection, or whatever the fuck.
The Baguette, Belleville Rendezvous.
Yeah.
The Baguette Connection. I don't think that's actually anime. I don't think that's like French anime, to be fair. I think that's just a French animation. But it's weird enough to be anime, you know? Where was it made? This was... I think it's just straight up Western animation. They're just stealing that sweet, sweet anime style, baby.
Cool. That's fair. You know
Lanky
what? That's
men
all right.
and gore.
I love it. It's what I dream of.
The defining characteristics of anime. How has this become an anime show? I like
I
it.
don't know. I know we'll talk about video games in a sec, but yeah, I watched like 20 episodes of Dragon Ball Z Kai yesterday because I had the day off work.
That's a good
And
way to spend your day off.
it was a really good day, and I literally got to the time skip at the end of the Cell games, and then all the way up to like the introduction of Babidi and the Demon King, which I don't know, that may not mean anything to you, but to anybody who knows anything about Dragon Ball Z, in actual Dragon Ball Z that isn't Kai, that's like fucking 50 episodes. That's a huge span, but obviously Kai brings it down to a slightly more reasonable length. But I can't stop thinking about anime now, Dylan. I can't stop thinking about Goku.
It's a pretty serious problem, it sounds like you have.
I've got Goku on the brain.
I used to watch loads of Dragon Ball when I was a kid, but then I don't know why I stopped. I also, when we went back to watch Dragon Ball, when we watched it in uni for a bit.
Yeah, well, I mean this is still the continuation of that years on.
It's just
there
that much.
Well, there are parts of Dragon Ball. Well, now I'm on Z, it moves a bit quicker especially because I'm doing Kai as well. So I've got through like 120 episodes of Kai much faster than I did 120 episodes of Dragon Ball, and that's just because there are parts in Dragon Ball where it slows down quite a bit. The Red Ribbon Army stuff, I found really, really tough. So the beginning of it, up until the end of the first World Martial Arts Tournament, and the end of it from sort of the King Piccolo and Piccolo Junior sagas, both move really, really well.
Yeah.
But I personally thought a lot of the stuff with the Red Ribbon Army was so slow, and it meant that I ended up watching like 40 episodes of Dragon Ball over the course of like a year and a half.
That is quite slow, but
yeah, Whereas I've smashed out most of Kai in just the last couple of months.
20 episodes in a day.
It was a good day off work, man. Really good. I ate instant noodles and watched a fucking ton of Dragon Ball Z Kai.
I watched. This is even more off a tangent now. I watched a YouTube video yesterday. I watched. Have you seen Bon Appetit? The YouTube channel.
No.
So they've got a series where this gourmet pastry chef makes gourmet versions of. It used to be sweets, but yesterday they released one where she makes a gourmet version of instant ramen.
Ooh.
It was a fun episode, and I really want to try making instant ramen.
That sounds good.
You
and
talking
watch
about
anime.
instant noodles reminded me. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that sounds cool. I like a bit of ramen. It's good stuff.
Cool. I just turned my microphone way down. Sorry about that. Yeah.
That's
Anyway,
fine.
okay.
Alright. Yeah, should we talk about video games? I just want to talk about...
It's important. We need to share this with the world.
Is there any anime you want to talk about before we talk about video games?
I could do, but I feel like this is how we then record another 10 minutes of us talking about anime.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Dylan, talk to me about video game news. I'm talking to you about Goku. You can talk to me about video games.
That's the exchange, equivalent exchange. Hashtag Full Metal reference. There we go. Anime. I got it through. I got mine in there. Let's start with the Fallout news because I think that's the biggest thing we've got at the moment, right?
Oh, it's so fucking funny as well.
So
it's just the stupidest thing.
We in our tiny little episode that we were doing last week that we planned to do 20 minutes of.
I did an hour and 6 minutes.
Because we started talking about Fallout for 40 minutes or something ridiculous.
Yeah.
We expressed our distaste with or dislike of how it's all going, and in this past week, the pre-order kits have gone out, or maybe it happened before, but this is when it's all kicked off.
Yeah, so
And,
it's the Power Armor edition,
Yeah.
which is the one that you get the game and a bunch of shit, and you also get a map and some models, and you get a fucking wearable Power Armor helmet,
Yeah,
and then you get a duffel bag that says West Tech on it.
and it's $200, right? At least that's what I remembered it being.
Yeah.
So it's a $200
175 British pounds.
Yeah, that's about the same, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyway,
Well.
so around that, and this duffel bag that you mentioned, when they advertised it, explicitly they said a canvas bag.
Yes.
And this is the source of all the drama this week. They've come out and someone's contacted Bethesda being like, yo, this canvas bag is made of nylon, what the fuck? And their response was, the canvas bag was too expensive, so we went with nylon. There's nothing else we're going to do about this. And I think this is probably the source of why everything's gone so bad. Because obviously, you can't really foresee what might go wrong in the production of stuff like this. They've set a price, and it's probably easier to... Well, I mean, if people have made the pre-orders already, if something's going to go over the cost of what they've got, So if everybody's given their $200 and it's like, oh, we can't actually afford to make canvas bags for everyone for all this, then yeah, maybe they have to change it. But when someone brings that up and you've not told anyone in the first place, someone brings it up and you just go, we're not going to do anything. Fuck you. It's kind of like, what happened to you, Bethesda, you know? And it's a shame to see.
Yeah, like, there are so many responses you can find, and all of them from Bethesda are just poor.
Yeah.
Like, due to unavailability of materials, we had to switch to a nylon carrying case. We hope this doesn't prevent anyone from enjoying what we feel is one of our best collector's editions. And then another one here, like the famous one that got really big, was, we're sorry that you aren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype and too expensive to make. We aren't planning on doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Just like...
that in itself is just... it's just kind of ignorant of... This is clearly an issue. People, when they're spending... This is like an expensive collector's edition. This is people who really care about your game. This is like your biggest fans. Or at least people who are mediocre fans with a lot of money.
These are your most mediocre fans.
Yeah. It's probably a mix, but you know, you've got to be pretty dedicated to Fallout to fork over $200 for a collector's edition, and you're just kind of saying, "Well, whatever. We don't care that you're upset."
You would expect some quality for that much money. Honestly, yeah. I don't know.
And like the rest of it, yeah, you've still got there doesn't seem to be any quality issues with like the wearable power armor helmet, which is a cool thing.
Yeah, that is cool.
And
I will admit that is cool.
And like honestly, if initially it was just a nylon bag anyway, if they had just said it comes with a nylon carrying bag, it would have been fine. I mean, it's still a little bit like, well, we're paying $200 just for a plastic bag, and amongst this other stuff, you could probably get a bit better. But I don't think anybody would really care that much. But yeah, I think just the way they've approached it, and the fact that, so I think the kicker as well is they did do something about it, right? But
well, I've personally argued that they actually still haven't done anything because the thing they did is bullshit. But yeah,
so they've come out.
What did they do, Dylan?
They've come out given everybody who got this pre-order $5 in microtransactions, which is literally nothing. They've literally given you nothing because this is fake money for a virtual product that they don't lose money on by giving you. It doesn't cost them anything to give people like a fake armor set.
And to get it, you have to get in contact with Bethesda and show your proof of purchase, and then they'll give you 500 atoms, which is the in-game currency. An amount of in-game currency, by the way, that Chris Livingston, video game writer extraordinaire for many, many, many years, over at PC Gamer, has pointed out that for 500 atoms, you can't even actually buy the Fallout 76 Postman skin that actually comes with a canvas bag. So for 500 atoms, you can't even buy an in-game canvas bag.
It's almost like just... It would have been nicer if they just hadn't done that, because it's kind of just like a kick in the shins, right? It's just like, fuck you, man. Here's this completely useless thing.
This whole fucking thing feels half-baked.
It's like they don't give a shit, which I think is a part of why everybody's come... It's getting such a vitriolic reaction from the community, because they clearly just don't care.
Yeah. Like, I don't understand what they're trying to do with this product at this point. And like, I guess I've also seen a lot of community buzz, people saying that it is fun, and like if you get a crew together, it's great, and all this other stuff. But it seems like from Bethesda's perspective, they don't. I don't know. They just don't seem to care.
Yeah, and it's almost like we've discussed this on the show before. there's lots of games that even if they're shit, when you play them with your friends, are actually really fun.
Yeah.
And it's not really the game that makes it fun, right? It's just fucking trudging about with your friends, having a laugh. Even like it doesn't matter how bad the game is.
I love to trudge.
And I don't know if that's the case with Fallout because, like we said last week, and it's not changed. We've not played this, so it could legitimately be, like you say, people really enjoying it because it's a fun game. But if part of it is because you're getting a group of friends together and playing around in that, then I think it's nice that they offered a place to do this in the Fallout universe. That's fun. But at the same time, it doesn't necessarily mean they've actually had to do that much to make that happen, right? I mean, as we said again last week, you've got modders who have modded Fallout and Skyrim and stuff to make the multiplayer. For an entire developer company, I don't know how you call it. For an entire group of these people, it shouldn't be that hard. And obviously, there's more to it than that. But what are they actually offering with this is kind of what I feel like I'm getting at. And then, yeah, like you say, I just don't really know what they're doing with this product. Where are they coming from? What are they? It almost just feels like a way to get a bunch of money so they can develop Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, it feels like one of these things where when they had announced it, when someone in Bethesda said, why don't we make a multiplayer survival game kind of thing in Fallout, everyone went, that's fucking great. Let's do that. And as they developed it more and more and more, it seems like they realised that either it couldn't be done the way they wanted it to do, or they couldn't do it the way they wanted to do, and so like you lose all the NPCs, and it becomes more and more about just collecting loot, and then suddenly it's like, well, we just have to fucking put this game out, and then they put it out, and they're like, we can't ship. Obviously, everyone and their dad wanted to get a collector's edition of this thing because everyone fucking loves Fallout and everyone loves the Fallout helmet.
Yeah.
And so then it's like, well, we can't actually make this many canvas bags. It feels like the entire time through, or at least the current state of this game gives the impression to me that for the entire production of it, there were a lot of really good ideas that didn't quite pan out. And so there is a video game there that you can play, and if you can tap into the intent of those good ideas, then you kind of get what you want. But if you can't, you end up with this thing that just seems half-baked. I really want to play it. This is the thing now, is I really, really want to play it just as like a morbid, sick fascination, just to see what it's going to be. Because
also because we keep ribbing on it. It's kind of, at this point, I feel bad that I haven't. I feel like I should, just to get that sort of, to be certain in my hatred. Not hatred, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, I know what you mean, right? To feel like my scathing opinion is validated.
Yeah.
I would like to actually play this game. I would like to put hands on and see what it's all about.
And I'd like to see where these people coming from saying it's a good experience, because, like you say, if you go in it with sort of good intentions of what their and like understanding of what their intent was, I bet you it seems like the kind of thing that you can get a lot of fun out of, because, like I say, these sort of multiplayer games, I think when you just tit about in them, you can have fun. I mean, it's like Minecraft, isn't it? There's not really much there at all, but you can have a lot of fun with it because you can just, like, if you set up a server and just fuck about with your friends.
Yeah, totally.
You can spend like a good few hours just doing literally nothing, but it's still fun. And I think
I'm sure that building a village or building a town and going out hunting for loot off elite mobs with your friends in Fallout 76 while chatting shit is a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
Because you can play basically anything, and if you have some good mates doing it, it'll be enjoyable. So something that at least has a gameplay loop to it, I'm sure will be excellent. But I wonder at I don't understand what the point of this game was, and
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that's me just being limited, but I just don't understand what the point of it was,
It
what they
does
were going
almost
for.
feel like they're just going for like that's the popular thing almost. Like these survival games are sort of popular. Maybe they've been overtaken at this point by Battle Royale, but obviously
Yeah,
before
because
that
that's the
that
thing
was
as
the
well,
thing,
isn't
right?
it? Like, yeah, survival games were last year's thing, or a couple of years ago's thing. Like the popularity of Rust was like what 2015
Yeah.
kind of time. Like
Also like
it
when we
was
were
the
still
time when
undergrad.
they probably started developing this game.
Yeah, true. I mean that they saw how popular stuff was and then decided to make a AAA game, and that takes a while. So it's kind of a bit strange, but you can kind of understand where they're coming from. But at the same time, it just feels, I don't know, like it's out of place, isn't it?
It just feels half baked.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe we should play it. Just we're coming in with a lot of negatives, and we seem hopeful about some potential positives. But at the same time, would we really rather play that with a group of friends, or just like play some more Diablo? Because
Yeah,
that's the sort of
exactly.
perfect, just like loot grind to have with friends, isn't it?
Yeah, like I would at this point much rather invest in a unified Diablo platform and do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't want to be a I don't want to be a Debbie Downer because I do feel like we can be prone to negative opinions on this show.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I just also think that this whole fucking thing seems whack.
yeah. I think the worst part as well is that, like, if this had come from EA, I don't think people would have cared that much because it's like, yeah, well, it's EA. What did you expect? Shouldn't have pre-ordered something from EA. It's just the fact that like Bethesda are known for like their bugs and stuff, but they've always sort of come across as like a good company, right?
Yes.
People have always had a little bit of love for them. Todd Howard's always been held up as quite a sort of high figure in gaming. You've got fucking what? Oh god, my brain's turned off today. How have I forgotten this? The Valve man. Shit. Fuck.
Gabe Newell.
Gabe Newell. Good golly.
That's alright, mate. The Valve man.
Yeah, that's literally all I could think of.
You
Gabe
know, the
Newell.
guy with the valve.
Yeah. Well, funnily enough, if you Google Valve man, you just get that guy with the valve in the back of his head.
Ooh, cool.
As in the one from Valve.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, obviously you've got like Gabe Newell at the top, but then Todd Howard is often depicted as one of his saints. You know, when you get that Gabe Newell as Jesus image, and I think now he's kind of losing that. You know, are they going to be bringing him out on stage as much after all this,
I don't know.
or are they going to
I
be
don't
bringing him
know,
out
man.
more because he's the only one who could potentially save it? Yeah, I don't know.
Like he is the cult of personality of that studio.
Yeah,
And you're right, Bethesda has garnered so much goodwill over the years. Like
they just feel like they're throwing it away.
and yeah, and they've garnered their goodwill to start with from like the hardcore PC background,
From like the
which is a,
hardest
which
people to get it from.
yeah, like they are the hardest people to get love from, and Bethesda got love from them for the Elder Scrolls games, which are, you know, they are noteworthy video games,
Yeah,
and all the way up until Skyrim, Bethesda were kind of the golden people, and then it, in a weird way, kind of coincided with their like real big push to start publishing their own shit.
yeah,
I wonder actually if as they push to start publishing their own stuff and they start having some actually very high quality output from their published games, maybe there became kind of a push within Bethesda to have more avenues of making money through their own works. I don't know. I'm trying to think about like this like loops of microtransactions and kind of half-baked promises, and just thinking like, is it actually a business thing? Is it getting to a point now where it's like you need to be shipping these flagship Bethesda games
yeah.
on this tight cycle, and if you're not, then we don't have the money to make all the other. I don't know. I literally, I'm not a business analyst, and I don't have any special information, so I'm gonna actually shut up before I just start making some wild fucking claims.
I do know what you mean, though. It's like, I was thinking this earlier, is that Fallout 76, while there is, I think, some good to be said about what it could potentially be, it does almost feel like just a way of making money. And if that means they can put out more stuff, like, if it helps them make sort of better Elder Scrolls games, and if it helps them publish stuff like the next Doom or whatever, then that's actually, to be fair, I don't really care as long as the rest of it stays good. It's just the attitude, I think. Yeah, like, put out a few kind of shitty, but, make some money games. If people are willing to put the money into it, then they're going to put the money into it. And get enough money to keep putting out quality, because, we've said on the show before, Doom's a fucking great time.
Oh, Doom is so damn good. Like, Doom
you
is
love
stupid
Wolfenstein.
good.
They're still publishing
those
incredible
Wolfenstein games
things.
are ridiculous.
So, if it allows them to do that, I see where you're coming from. If it allows them to do that kind of thing, then maybe that's why they're doing it. But who knows? Like you say, it's hard for us to really say about that, isn't it? But,
yeah, and obviously, yeah, they do Dishonored as well, which, like, Dishonored games are great too. So, like, yeah, I've got time for Bethesda. They put out some sweet fucking video games,
but they do need to, I think, to be fair, really all of the bad blood that I feel like is coming from Bethesda recently is really only from Fallout. Like, Fallout 4 wasn't anywhere near what it could have been. Fallout 76 is obviously a massive disappointment. But if you think about everything else, there's maybe some bugs and stuff, but everything else that they put out recently doesn't really have any of this kind of bullshit.
Yeah,
so there's something weird going on.
I don't understand.
I don't know. I guess Elder Scrolls Online was kind of shit to start with as well, but that was ages ago.
Yeah, that was.
That was 5 years ago now? 4 maybe? Anyway, let's move on to something a bit more fun.
Yeah, let's do that.
I figured we could talk about... I've not seen much about this, but it looks exciting. There has been a tweet from Pokemon Go.
Ooh.
Which is just an exclamation... The tweet itself is a photo and then the caption of 2 exclamation marks and a surprised face. And the photo is a Pokemon Go trainer with the exclamation mark above their head on what appears to be a Pokemon battle arena. That's sort of like the one you see in the anime of the white sort of hexagon on the ground with the place to stand kind of thing.
Yeah.
And obviously this is suggesting that they're bringing battles to Pokemon Go, right? I don't see what else this could be. This seems to be what everyone else thinks it is. And
that sounds like that to me. That, or they're bringing... You say an exclamation mark above his head?
Yeah, so
maybe they're bringing stealth mechanics to it, and if you get caught as an exclamation mark, then you have to battle.
God, that would be cool.
Yeah.
It could be that... So lots of people think it's PvP stuff, which obviously is what you kind of want. To be able to battle your friends with the Pokemon you've caught in the real world. That would be dope. That would be cool, right? But I guess with the exclamation mark, what I was thinking is... You only get that when you come across a person in the real world, right? Not the real world, in the Pokemon world.
Yeah.
They see you and they have the exclamation mark. So, maybe they're also just doing sort of PvE kind of stuff, which would be strange. I don't know how they'd implement that, but it could be cool.
Yeah, I don't know if they could do... maybe... Could it be some way of working in unison with Let's Go? Because Pokemon Let's Go is obviously all PvE.
Yeah.
So if it was going to be PvE and not PvP, maybe it would actually be part of Let's Go, like an integration with Let's Go somehow.
Potentially.
I don't know.
Either way, I think the idea of battles coming to Pokemon Go is really cool, because that was kind of what was missing. And you sort of said this at the beginning.
I completely agree, yeah.
I remember you kind of going on about how you'd really just rather play Pokemon.
Yeah, because
because
it wasn't mechanically there enough for me.
exactly.
I
But
I do enough walking already, and I wanted mechanics out of my video game. And
yeah,
obviously, I want a mechanics or a story, and it had neither.
yeah,
Ostensibly, I don't want to sound dismissive of it. It is a cool thing, and I'm glad that it got people out walking around. But after the initial novelty of chasing Pokemon around my hometown when I got it, I kind of lost
yeah.
interest. I think,
And I mean
quite
that's
quickly.
I think why it still seems to be quite popular. They still get a bunch of money from it, so enough people are committed to it. But
Yeah.
obviously, there was a massive drop off in who was playing it. And I think
Yes.
that's for what you said. It's once you've gone around catching Pokemon with your friends. I mean, that's kind of what we're just saying, isn't it? These games, when you play with your friends, great fun. I really liked walking around
Yes.
with people playing Pokemon Go, but it gets to a point where you don't really want to walk around alone
Mm.
because like
Yeah,
there's
for
none of this
sure.
other stuff to do, right? I mean, if you don't have the battles, you don't have the trading. Kind of what are you all doing it for? But introducing battles, I think, is it's a bit late. I think they should have done this way earlier.
Yeah. I wonder if it actually took a Pokemon Let's Go R&D into how you do battles in that system
Yeah,
for them to even think about it. I don't know. I actually don't know. But obviously, they haven't had battles, and Pokemon Let's Go does have battles in it.
yeah.
And I wonder if they're going to use the similar kind of system.
Well, I mean, because I think aren't the battles in Let's Go basically just the same? Because it's obviously you don't have the random encounters with Pokemon, but you do have battles with trainers still, and I think they're similar at least.
Right, okay. I feel like in my head they're goified in some way, but that might actually be me just making shit up, so don't listen to me.
I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, what I'm kind of hoping is that they don't do. So obviously there was a semi battle element involved from the beginning with Pokemon on gyms, right?
Yeah.
And so you'd have to like tap the Pokemon and you could hold it down to do a special attack.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
There's a
hoping they
gym right near my house as well, I think, because I always see big groups of people holding like 3 phones and a backpack full of chargers just near my house.
yeah,
So I assume it's a gym or some sort of techno gang.
maybe it's
Could be both.
maybe they're actually well into oh god, what's the name? The thing that came before Pokemon Go in something.
Oh, yes. Fuck, Ingress.
Ingress, yeah. Maybe
Yeah,
they're
maybe.
actually well into that instead. Although I don't think they have that has any sort of battle stuff. It does have it has like the nodes instead of gyms, but yeah, I'm hoping it's not just a matter of like tapping your friend's Pokemon until they die. But
Yeah.
I guess it would be hard to do. It would be weird to do the turn-based mechanics as well. You'd just be stood there with your friend, occasionally
Yeah.
tapping. So I don't know. It seems strange. So I guess this is why it took so long. We're not going to solve it immediately. It's probably why it took them so long.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I'll watch this space with a lot of interest. I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's the kind of thing that I mean. I've had my phone's not very doesn't have much space, so it's hard to keep these things on. But I walk quite. I walk into uni every day, so I'm walking for like about an hour. In, and there was a stint there where I put Pokemon Go on my phone. It made my walking a bit longer, but it was well fun. I really enjoyed it, and if I had more space on my phone, I'd have carried on. So this is the kind of thing that's kind of like, well, maybe I'll try and make more space again and give it another go, see what happens. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
It's also quite hard to get into at this point because everyone else's Pokemon is so strong that like there's not really much you can do. You have to hope that there's a gym with some weak Pokemon on that you can get into, and hope they don't stay up too. They don't get taken down too quickly. But yeah. I'm
Gosh.
excited to see it happen. I'm hoping Pokemon Go keeps going, and also obviously Niantic are coming out with. They recently we've not actually mentioned this on the show yet, did we? Niantic recently released the trailer for the like Harry Potter Go, didn't they? I don't know if you saw
Yeah,
it.
I think we did talk about this on the show because
Maybe
I
briefly,
made
yeah.
that super off-color joke about that previous Harry Potter mobile game that was really bad.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you?
I did. I sure did.
Well, with that coming out soon as well, I wonder what you'll have people with all kinds of walking experiences. It'll be fun to see.
I am interested in following how that goes, because seems to me like that could be a good kick in the ass for Pokemon Go, and it could be actually like quite a significant development in Pokemon Go, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah,
it sort of reinvigorates it, doesn't it?
yeah, it does.
To be able to battle your friend's Pokemon, it's pretty fun. You just need to flex on people with your Charizard, you know?
I'm always flexing on people with my Charizard, mate. Always.
There's I don't really actually have loads more news. There was that one thing we mentioned before that's semi gaming related. Should I go for that? I don't know if you know what I mean.
Yeah, go for it. I'm sure I'll have an opinion, whatever it is.
This I've not read much about it. I just really love the headline. So Kotaku have put up this thing about a guy hacks printers around the world to tell people to subscribe to PewDiePie. So I don't know really what's gone on here. I think I saw something from this. I think I saw something from this yesterday on Reddit. I thought it was a shit Secret Santa, but it may have been this instead of someone going on. But yeah, some guys just got a bunch of printers around the world to print out. So this is what it says. PewDiePie is in trouble and he needs your help to defeat T-Series. What is going on? PewDiePie, the currently most subscribed to channel on YouTube, is at stake of losing his position as the #1 position by an Indian company called T-Series that simply uploads videos of Bollywood trailers and songs. What to do? Unsubscribe from T-Series, subscribe to PewDiePie, share awareness to this issue in #SavePewDiePie, tell everyone you know seriously, and then finally Brofist with an ASCII Brofist.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's the worst.
And yeah, so there are several tweets of people around. There's people in Canada, people in Brighton. I don't know where this other one is. Their like work printers have been hacked, and this has been posted.
That's fucking great. You know, that is actually legit. I'm into that.
Which is kind of hilarious.
I kind of hate PewDiePie and everything he stands for, and every time he opens his mouth, I'm always certain that he's going to say something really offensive. But the idea of hacking printers all over the world to pimp for him is... I can't knock it. Like, it's fucking cool in a way that's really funny.
He's got some dedicated fans. But this is a competition. This T-Series, who they seem to just upload, like it says. What do they do? Is there anything? Yeah, an Indian music production company called T-Series. So it's like, what's the name? Vivo.
Yeah, okay.
You always watch I think it's like Indian Vivo. Seems to be.
Oh, I've heard about this. Yeah, this is the one that if you graph out how its subscriber numbers have grown, it's like done crazy fucking numbers for the last however long, just because they're knocking out those Bollywood hits on the regs.
And
right?
Yeah, it seems to be.
Yeah.
I've just had a look. Yeah, they've just got fucking tons of Bollywood videos. Which, to be fair, Bollywood is crazy. So
yeah,
I
saw a graph somewhere of their subscriber numbers, and it's just fucking nuts, man. It's crazy high numbers.
So both of them, T-Series and PewDiePie, are currently at 72 million subscribers. That's more than the UK. That's more people than in Britain, I think, subscribe to PewDiePie and T-Series. That's
pretty cool.
What Social Blade is this? Oh no, this literally just says this isn't a graph. I need a graph. Anyway, I just think the fact that someone there's not even much more to be said about that, really, is there? But that someone was dedicated enough to hack that is
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's cool. I don't have much more to say about that other than just I don't really like PewDiePie very much, but I think that is actually quite a cool bit of stupid marketing.
Yeah, and it's not like you see so much ridiculous bullshit from YouTube drama that's just kind of like, well, fuck it. I can't be bothered with that. YouTube's a terrible place. But this is just kind of fun, isn't it? There's nothing vitriolic or hate filled in that printed thing. There's nothing
No,
racist or anything.
no, not at all.
It's just
It's just a thing.
it's just kind of lovely, which you don't really expect from YouTube, but you know, fun, fun little bit of, I guess, somewhat related gaming related news. PewDiePie got his chops with gaming stuff, didn't he? So
Yes, yes, he did. It's just bizarre. It's absolutely bizarre.
yeah,
But you know what? Good for PewDiePie, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, man, that's just really silly. It's just really, really silly. I love it.
so there is one last thing that I figure is worth a mention, but I mean, like,
Yeah.
I talk about this all the time. So Destiny has come out with their sort of annual pass plan. So I don't know if you've got the annual pass for.
No,
I
I
don't know
don't
what
have their. Oh,
team it is.
this is their roadmap for the next year of shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, so I don't have uh that. But yeah.
So this is their roadmap for the year ahead. This is their essentially their new plan for DLC, and this has started last week, but sort of comes through a bit more on the coming Tuesday. So yesterday for when this is uploaded, I guess.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
so Tuesday the 4th, I think.
Yes.
Um, so yeah, it's their next DLC after Forsaken, which was their kind of big drop. This the
Yeah.
year 2 update, and they've got a lot there. I mean, they seem to be their shift has been to provide more constant content, right? I think
Yeah, that's the idea, isn't it?
that
To
seems
see if
to
they can
be
actually hit that drumbeat and start knocking things out as they should on
yeah.
like a good pace.
So they seem to kind of manage this for Forsaken before this all happened. With the Dreaming City, they kind of had this constant update every Tuesday-ish, and they had like a 3-week cycle where something big seemed to happen fairly
Yeah,
regularly.
that cycle is cool. That everything about that 3 week cycle, I think, is
So it's kind of died
rad.
down a tiny bit towards the end because obviously you can only have so much content. But um, this latest stuff, so they've got a good. I'm seeing if I can get it up just so I can get it right. But so essentially, what they're doing is this like season-based DLC. So they've had seasons before, but it's been kind of more overarching. But what they've got now is what is it called? Destiny 2 Season of the Forge. There we go. So it's starting with the Season of the Forge thing, and the DLC is Black Armory. So what it's going to have is instead of like a bunch of story dropping at once, they're kind of dropping lore throughout this season, and the season, and so there is still like missions and stuff. I think there's an exotic quest
Mm.
and a raid is coming out in this one, and like a few other things, and a whole bunch of new weapons, which is kind of the idea of this forge, right? There's a secret forge master or like group of the Black Armory basically who make the best weapons in the system, and are trying to keep it away from the Guardians. I don't know entirely the story, but this is the kind of idea. And from the looks of it, throughout this season, they're going to be like keeping. So not everything comes out at once. I think on Tuesday you get the first sort of step into the story, and then throughout the season up until I think like February. Actually, no, I think the last thing really happens in January. more of these forges open. So the idea is
Right.
you have to go and reclaim these forges for the Black Armory, and that will allow you to sort of forge your own weapons and stuff like that. And then they're continuing this with, so there's 3 seasons in total. So it's the season of the Forge of Black Armory, season of the Drifter, who, I mean, I think you've played Gambit, right?
He's the Gambit man, isn't he?
He's the Gambit man. So
Who's possibly a wielder of the dark or something cool, isn't he?
not even possibly he is. That's kind of I think that's kind of his shtick.
Oh right, okay.
So he is a rogue and is a guardian, I think. But yeah, he
Rogues
wields
do it
the
from
dark.
behind. Sorry.
It's fine.
Yes.
Yeah, so like we don't know loads about him, but I mean he's come along with this weird ship, and you play Gambit with him, and occasionally you'll go into. So I don't know how much Gambit you've played. We've played a bit though, right? We played a bit
Yes,
together.
I get how Gambit works. I'm aware of the concept.
So when you invade, for the people listening, it's a PvE experience, and then occasionally you can invade the other team's area, and you can try and kill them. You're only there for a little bit, but some of the stuff he says when you do it. So you'll go across, and the first time I heard it was the other day, and he just goes to you, "This is how the Taken feel," and because he's using the Dark, which is what the Taken use, that's their magic,
Yeah.
to send you across. And
Weird.
that idea is just like fucking hell. I don't know. For me, that seems kind of cool. But so that's what this next season is going to be about him. It's called Joker's Wild, and I don't
Yes.
really know entirely what's going. So there's no raid that season, but there's like a new Gambit experience.
Will they do
more lore.
like raid layers or whatever they were doing when they were with the last one? Because they didn't put out a new raid with the first couple of expansions for base Destiny 2, did they? But they put out raid
They
layers.
put out
didn't
raid
they?
layers? Yeah, I think they might be layers, but from what the maps, so there's a really good image of kind of what's coming throughout.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, so
worth
I've
having a-
seen that image actually, and yeah, it does kind of lay everything out quite nicely, doesn't it? And sort of says what do you get if you are just like playing the base game?
Yeah.
What do you get if you're playing the if you've bought it? How's that all going to roll out? And it's got a couple of nice little cock teas, like redacteds in there as
So
well,
that's the
doesn't it?
final. That's the final season. Yeah, there's season of the
Penumbra.
redacted, and yeah, Penumbra is going to be happening. That's the. So the season has got like whatever overarching name, and then the DLC, I guess it could be considered, drops during that season because obviously the season applies to everybody. The season applies to even if you've just got like base Destiny 2, not even Forsaken kind of thing.
Yeah.
You still get a bunch of the season content. And then Penumbra is that last thing people really don't know much about. I've just seen that also, yeah, it's raid layers, not raids, I think, at least in Black Armory.
Cool. Okay.
And I don't know, this is just... I know we had like... There was... With Destiny 2, and Destiny 1 as well, but Destiny 2 especially, at the beginning, it was like there was nothing to it, right? It was... People were kind of annoyed because it wasn't as good as it could have been. And I enjoyed playing it, but I kind of agreed, right? There was... I don't know.
Yeah.
It just felt
I
like
don't
it
know.
wasn't enough, you know?
Mm.
But all this stuff that's coming out recently, and I mean, I feel like I go on about it every time they do something new at this point. And it's clear my love for Destiny 2 on this show. But they seem to actually, like, I don't know. They clearly care because they're trying, but they're really listening, and I don't know. I love it. I just wanted to A, talk about it a bit, but B, be like, good job, Bungie.
When does Black Armory does it drop? It drops soon, or has it dropped?
So the season has started, but
Yeah.
Black Armory drops, I think, on Tuesday.
Right. Okay.
So there's already like a
yeah,
little
so
bit you can do.
I kind of want to get that. Maybe I should get that.
You definitely should. Then we can play together.
Yeah, I definitely should get that. Shouldn't I? How much is that season pass? Like £30
I can't remember.
for the next 3. Oh.
I think they reduced the price because I paid however much for that sort of Forsaken and annual pass thing. And then they dropped the price of Forsaken and Destiny 2 together or something fairly soon after that. And as a like compensation for the people who had already bought it. I'm getting like 2 funky emotes and a bunch of other
Ooh.
stuff, which is pretty cool.
I've
I get
got
a
part
knife
of an
flip
emote.
and a coin flip.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited. Apparently,
Hey,
the coin flip is so it's like an actual random coin flip kind of thing. And my brother was saying that, and like the clan was saying that that's actually quite good for raids because it means you can coin flip on who's doing what,
That
which is cool.
is cool.
And
Actually,
obviously,
I'm into that.
because they're also committed to Destiny, they all paid too much, so everybody gets it.
Everybody gets it.
But yeah, so that like little bits have started. You can already get some Black Armory weapons, which has always happened with Destiny 2, I think. The sort of in-world activities start to change a little bit just before the DLC drops, and that's already started happening. But it actually sort of gets going on Tuesday. I'm well
Okay.
excited.
Looks like it's only 30 quid.
Worth it, I'd say. It's like another year
Yeah.
of content, right?
Yeah.
Although I guess, no, you bought Destiny 2 on the Xbox with Forsaken, didn't you? So
Yeah. I do have all that good shit.
so you didn't really pay, I guess, extra for Forsaken, but it is still buying. You buy Forsaken and you buy a little bit more to it, which I think is a little bit kind of like, oh. But at the same time, it means you get a year of, I don't know, committed content, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool, mate. Seems like they're doing all the right things with Destiny.
Yeah.
Finally.
I mean, you own 2 copies of it, so who's the real super fan here?
Don't remind me. Yeah, seems like they're doing all the right things with Destiny. I hope they carry those lessons over into whatever Destiny 3 is.
Yeah, me too. I hope they start off well with it because I think that's been a big problem with it, right? They've had this sort of drop off in players because it started off a bit shit. But if you start Destiny 3 off well, maybe it'll keep that. Maybe it'll keep the players.
Yeah, maybe.
So we'll see. But I don't know. I'm a fan. I'm liking what's happening. It's a fun game to play. So I'm glad
Fuck
it's
yeah.
still going.
That's excellent.
Also, yeah, it's like the only game I've regularly played for the past year and a bit now. I mean, I regularly played Halo 5 for like 2 years, so
Yeah, like Halo 5 came out when, like,
2015, I think.
yeah, so you played that, well, you played that non-stop for a year until Titanfall 2 came out, and then you played that non-stop for a year, and then Destiny 2 came out, and you played that non-stop for a year now.
But I'm still playing it, so that's the difference.
Yeah, but is that just because this release season hasn't had a new sci-fi shooter for you to sink your teeth into?
Yeah, potentially. Oh god, I really do have a niche, don't I?
Yeah, man. Oh, I unplugged my headphones for a very brief moment and
Nice.
couldn't hear you, but I'm sure whatever you said was legit.
I didn't actually say anything because you said yeah, man, and then oh, so I just gave you a moment.
Oh, cool. Perfect.
Although,
All right, mate.
speaking of Destiny, actually reminded me of. Did you see the Anthem stuff?
No.
Anthem did like an alpha demonstration. I don't know, a live stream. That's the word.
Oh.
And I had a look at that. Looks well fun. Looks like Destiny with flying. Maybe that will be
Oh,
my
man.
next thing. That's
I
my
hope that
next
game is
sci-fi
good.
shooter.
I hope that game turns out to be as cool as it looks.
I hope it's not just bogged down with microtransactions.
Oh, it should be good.
'Cause I
Fingers
feel like
crossed.
Destiny does it well enough that you don't like. I don't buy microtransactions. You don't have to. I really hope that Anthem does the same. But I don't know. Anthem was a big part of that. I don't know if you remember. There was all that drama about like weaponizing microtransactions, basically. There was like
No, actually. What's this?
it's like a year ago or something, and I think there had been some kind of presentation in EA about sort of using microtransactions and like things within a game to encourage people to buy microtransactions. So it would be stuff like matching you up against enemies that are better than you in a certain way. So if you use snipers a lot, matching you up against enemies that mean you would need to buy a new sniper to be better.
Oh, yes, I do remember that, actually. That was, yeah, we spoke about that. That was really,
Yeah.
really insidious, dark shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Anthem was like a central part of that presentation. So it's kind of
Oh.
like I really want it to be good, but at the same time, it's got such a dark history already.
It's already established itself as possibly the portent of the end times. To be fair, also, all that stuff came out before loot boxes started being investigated by multiple different governments.
Yeah, true.
You've seen that study that our government's actually published that shows how loot boxes have a direct correlation to a recent increase in child gambling rates.
God, really?
Yeah, it was on the BBC, man.
God damn.
Yeah.
So I guess now people can actually say that games are ruining our children.
Yeah, just not for any of the reasons anyone thought they were.
Yeah. Just because, corporations need money.
Yeah, it's probably more fair to say that corporations are ruining our children. That greed is ruining our children.
God damn greed.
Oh, it's my least favourite of the sins.
I'm trying to think. This is more Full Metal Alchemist. I'm trying to think which one was greed. Oh yeah, no, greed's the best the best sin from Full Metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a good character.
What about gluttony is my favourite sin.
Gluttony's a freaky character. I don't know.
What about sloth?
Sloth is a. I'm not going to spoil it. He's just a huge guy.
Cool. You know what? Anime's alright. I've decided.
We're going to begin with anime. We're going to end with anime. Anime's great.
I haven't stopped thinking about Goku this entire time.
Yeah, I could tell, man. You're just not here anymore. It always feels like you're somewhere else. It's because you're thinking about that man.
I'm going to be in town a bit later on trying to get a haircut. I might go into Forbidden Planet and see if they have some Dragon Ball manga.
Oh, get yourself some manga, baby.
If they have Volume 1 of Dragon Ball, I might buy some manga. I've decided.
Page 42 has some pretty hot manga, I think.
Oh, shit. I've been eyeing up Dragon Ball Fighters.
You're on a Dragon Ball bend. It's too much, man.
It's really good.
You're losing your life to Dragon Ball.
It's just really good. It's because other TV shows, because of, they're humans, they don't tend to be able to just do huge time skips and give you loads of epic stories over the length of people's lives. But because Dragon Ball is anime, after watching the amount of it I've watched and going through like multiple different many-year time skips, you feel like you've seen an entire fucking dynasty of men with spiky black hair and orange geese that go Super Saiyan. It's really good.
Maybe we need
Anime's
to start
alright.
a Dragon Ball podcast
Oh, mate.
where we just watch Dragon Ball and talk about it.
A Dragon Ball rewatch podcast has been no good. That must already be a thing. I'm sure. Also, everyone who's ever going to watch Dragon Ball already knows that it's good.
Yeah, true. I don't think we're going to convince anybody to watch Dragon Ball, are we?
Yeah, I don't know.
We've also already got our own rewatch podcasts ideas to make. We can't have two.
With a better name as well. I don't think we'd have a good name for a Dragon Ball rewatch podcast.
No, it would just be some balls joke, wouldn't it? And that's not good.
No, you're right. That's not. I wasn't even thinking that. That's disgusting.
It's true. That is where we take it. Right.
Right.
That seems like some news.
Yeah. Bookended it with anime.
Oh yeah. That's the secret to a good film. And maybe a good podcast too. Start and finish with the same kind of thing.
Is that yeah. Perfect. It's the anime sandwich. Well, no. It's a news sandwich and anime is the bread.
You did just find the name of this episode. Anime Sandwich.
Perfect.
Right. Well, that's been us. You can find us. Oh, my voice is going. You can find us on iTunes and SoundCloud under Shouting Over the Static, and you can find us on YouTube at Low Expectations Media, and the podcasts are all there under Shouting Over Static or Shouting Over the News. It's all there. You'll figure it out.
Indeed.
I've been Dylan, and I've been joined by Mark. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thanks, mate.
See you next week. Although, actually, right now, because it's the magic of podcasts, baby.
What?
Oh, Dusty, stop.
Bye.